In this video, I'm going to show you how I learned these classic country songs by ear. I don't know if it's technically considered by ear. I think it is in some way, but I don't know if it technically would be categorized as that. So that's what I'm going to kind of call it though. So most of the time when I learn songs, I'm usually doing this process I'm going to show you. Sometimes I will look up the chords and the lyrics, but for me, I find that I learn the songs the best and I memorize them the best when I learn them without looking up the chords, without looking up the lyrics. Because if when I'm looking up the lyrics and the chords, I'm learning it through that, but then I have to memorize it. Whereas when I learn it with this way I'm going to show you, that doesn't involve, looking it up, I'm memorizing it as I'm learning it. And so I find that to be just better for my brain, and I keep the songs memorized better that way. So I like doing it that way. Now, sometimes I will still look up the chords or the lyrics if I'm stuck, or I just feel like it at that point. So I do that sometimes, but the way that I do it by ear, first of all, I have this chord chart here, which I don't really use anymore, but this was handy initially when I was trying to learn how to know what chords are in different keys. So this is Chords and Keys Ultimate Cheat Sheet, and it just shows all these different keys and then what chords are going to be in that key. Now sometimes in songs there will be like a chord that isn't technically in that key, and I don't have a formula to tell you as far as why or how you determine that. I just play around with it until I find it. And I will just tell you right now, I am by no means an expert in this at all. I am not a professional. I am not a professional guitar player. And if you are, then you may cringe a little bit at some of this stuff because I don't know much theory. So I can't really explain it very well, I don't think. I don't know how useful this will be for you if you're trying to learn how to do this, but maybe it'll be helpful, or just, if nothing else, interesting, or just like kind of funny. So I'm gonna do this with a song right here. I'm gonna show you how I do it. But first of all, how I start is I find the key. So here's how I do that. With my guitar in standard tuning, the low E string is this one here, the one closest to me. And what I will do is I will pluck that string over and over and over as I have the song playing, and I will move down the fretboard. Or is it up? Is it up or down? Probably up, because this way is going higher. I'm telling you, I don't know the technical stuff here. And I'll just keep going until I find the note that sounds right. And if it's the right one, it should sound right if you just keep on playing it. Just continuing to pluck it along with the song, it'll still sound right pretty much the whole time. How I specifically find what note that is, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head every single what note is in each fret, what note it is. So I will usually have to go back through and either say it in my head as I'm going down the neck, up the neck, or just go back once I find it and not count it. What would it be called? Not counting. I don't know, saying it in my head until I find it. So first of all, let me just run through what the notes are on the fretboard with just the E string. So open, playing it open is just E. First fret is F. Next one is F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then back to E. All the way up there, which in that case, just open it back up. So that's how I'm going to start, and I'm going to do the song A Little Past Little Rock by Lee Ann Womack, and I'm going to show you how I do this process. So I'm going to start by finding the key, trying to find the key. And I don't know if this is, I may have picked a tricky song, honestly. Some songs are very simple, and some songs are more complicated. But I think really for the most part, classic country songs are pretty simple, which is really nice. A lot of times it's just a few chords, 3 chords and the truth. And there's usually, of course, there's a pattern. With the verse, there's usually a pattern of chords in the verse, then there's a pattern in the chorus. And so when you can figure that pattern out, that's really helpful. And I think there was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember. So if it comes to me, I'll have to tell you then. But I'm going to go ahead and start. Okay, well, I think this song is very easy for finding the key, sounds like it's just E. So now I'm going to test that out by actually playing the E chord to make sure. 'Cause sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I think it sounds right and it wasn't. And maybe that's because that chord, there maybe like that note is a chord that's in the song, but it's not the actual key. I don't know, but sometimes I get it wrong. But that's why, of course, now I need to try it with the actual chord. We're good. So it is E. Okay, so then once I find the key, now I know the key I'm playing it in, and I pretty much know what chords are going to be in this key. So I know that in the key of E, the chord options are going to be E, of course, A, B major, C sharp minor. I think F sharp minor can be in there. And then sometimes, like I said, there can be a chord that's not technically in the key, and I cannot tell you why that is. I don't know. But I do want to talk about, like, let's say it's a song that, let's say the key is, let's say it's maybe like G sharp, and if I don't want to play it in that chord shape because that's more difficult, you know, it's a lot more bar chords. I don't know a whole lot of fancy chords. So what I like to do is I will use my capo so that I can make it to where the chord shapes I'll be using are simpler chords. So I don't know exactly how to explain how this works or what this is doing, but like if it's G sharp and I don't want to play it with that chord shape, I'm either going to capo it like 1 or 2, and that's going to make it to where I can play in a simpler chord shape, either just G, wow, what was that? Okay, let's see. I'm probably going to like mess myself all up. Okay. I'm probably giving myself a bad example. I don't know how to explain this. Honestly, I do not know the technical stuff about this. All I know is I play around with it till I find it. So if it's a key that is got like, you know, sharps that are going to be difficult shapes to play and I don't want to do that, I will play around with my capo until I can find it in if I put my capo on, I'll play around until I find that it'll work with playing the simpler chord shapes, if that makes any sense. And again, this is what I mean by if you are like a guitar professional or something, you are probably cringing right now because you're probably like, what did that even mean? That sounded crazy. I know, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I just do it and I just like kind of figure it out. It's kind of bad. I really should probably know more of the like technical stuff in theory, but this is how I do it. So we're just going to go with it. Okay. Now I'm going to actually play along with the song more and see if I can find what other chords are going to be in it. And if you're just like starting out trying to learn this, that's where a cheat sheet like this would be helpful, is that you could then reference that and see, okay, well, what chords are in here? So, okay, yeah, I was right. So it has E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor. I didn't mention that one. That one's in it. A major, B major, and C sharp minor. So I'm pretty sure, I feel like G sharp minor is this. And I'm not 100% sure. But we're just going to go with it. Okay. verse is and the intro is very simple. It's just E A E A E A, and then at the very end of it, it goes F sharp minor B. So it's a very simple verse, and so there's definitely a pattern to that, but it's literally just E A E A. This is funny. I did not know if this was going to be a simple song, but so far it is very simple. So now we'll see what the chorus is. I'm gonna go back a little bit, and hopefully you can hear this good enough. The actual song here. I can't turn it up anymore. So, all right, we shall see. As fast as I can. So this song is not turning out to be super complicated, which is great. And that's what I do. That's essentially it. I will just continue to play along with the song until I get it down and I find, what the pattern is and I get it memorized. And then sometimes the song, of course, is not going to be in the key that is comfortable for me to do. And so sometimes I'll just use my capo and that'll work. Or if I need to actually change the chords I'm doing, change the keys by actually doing different chords, I'll do that. So like for this song, I think this song is a little bit high for me. So if I wanted to do it, I would possibly, it might be that all I need to go down is to like D, but first I'm starting with learning it with the way it is in the song. But actually, this might be a good example actually. Technically, I think if I wanted to do this song for myself in the key of D, and I wanted to go ahead and learn it with those chords that I would be doing for myself, I believe if I capo at 1, I will actually be able to play it in the key of D with those shapes. And it wouldn't technically actually be in the key of D with the capo, but where I can practice with those chord shapes, and then when I would sing, I'd just take the capo off. So let's test that and see if I'm right, because, again, I don't know what I'm talking about. I was wrong. Okay, so then maybe I need to do 2. Let me try it. Let me try 2. I was close. I just needed to capo it 2. Okay, so if I wanted to do that, that's what I would do. Is I could practice this with D. Now let me see what that would be if I do that. That works. So that's a great tip there, because then it's not like I'm not gonna have to learn it like 2 times essentially. And of course I need to test this out actually, and if I look at the lyrics I might be able to. Then I don't have to learn it first in the one, with I don't have to learn it first with, the key in the key of E with those shapes. I can learn it with the chords that I'd be doing it with from the start. And let me just test it out. If I was doing it with myself, if this is a high enough or if it's low enough, I don't know what I'm saying. Had to leave my life in Dallas. That town will always be you. In every crowd, every corner, in every face I see you. I gotta keep my heart out of this, both hands on good key. I'd have to make sure with the whole song, which I won't do in this video. It's kind of gonna be kind of long. Probably is getting kind of long anyway. But yeah, I mean that's it. That's how I learn these songs. And other than sometimes I will look up the lyrics or the chords, you know, and like right there I was just looking at the lyrics. But yeah, that's the way I do it, and it works. It works for me, and I can't explain it very well, I don't think, but let me know if you can understand this at all, and let me know if it's helpful, or if anything else, just let me know if you found it entertaining. That works too. And also let me know if you'd like to hear me cover that song. Such a pretty song. I just recently was listening to that multiple times. It's just so pretty. I just like it. It's really good. So let me know if you'd like to hear me do that. But I think that covers it, the process that I go through to learn these songs. And so that's going to be it. And we'll catch you in our next video.